Yeah, most on Christ, man. We about to get it on. Yeah, we about to get it on. Yeah, most on Christ, man. We about to get it on. Christ, man. We about to get the lag out. Yeah, we about to get it on. Yeah, we about to get it on. Yeah, most on Christ, man. We about to get it on. Christ, man. Yeah, we about to get it on. Christ, man. Yeah, we about to get it on. Yeah, we about to get it on. Yeah, most on Christ. We about to get it on for real, right? I guess that had to be repeated a few times. All right, y'all. Let me get this all situated here. Most High Christ. Hey man. Shalom Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabarakatam, and all of Israel. This is the ISUPK, Kentucky. This is our Thursday class, man. I'm finna do a breakdown. The title is Egyptology and the language of Egyptology, which is the Metu Neter. Those have been said to be the beginning of the Bible. I know y'all have all heard it. The Bible comes from the walls of Egypt. The stories of Egypt predates the Bible. And whatever else, y'all can think of and the things that y'all have heard. All the way down from the story of Christ comes from the Bible. There's no evidence of the Bible, but there's evidence of Egypt, and back and forth. Well, I could beat up every aspect of Egypt. It'd just be easy for me to do and a specialty of mine. Real talk. Very easy and a specialty. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pose a question first. The Hoteps, the black Egyptologists, who I would say it hasn't even been 50 years. And I'm giving them, a long time because they'll go with some of the, elders that taught Egypt, but they haven't really been a big movement that long. We're going to go back hundreds of years to show you the beginning of this madness, to show you why they say stupid things like the Bible comes from Egypt, and the stories of the pyramid text are stories that the Bible plagiarized, which they must don't understand the definition of plagiarism. But I'll give it to them anyway, okay, if that's what they want to say. But the biggest mistake they make is they got the nerve, and I'm talking to the Hoteps right now, they got the nerve to say that the Bible is the white man's book. The nerve of them to really say that with a straight face. The Bible is the white man's book. So, like the title says, I'm going to prove that Egyptology and the language is the white man's creation. So their Book of the Dead, as it was titled by a white man, is a white man's book. Their pyramid text, as it's deciphered, is a white man's sayings and books. Whatever the hell you want to call it, has now become a white man's writing because a white man told you what the hell it meant. So the white man's telling you what it means, breaking down the definition of this and that for you, then that would be properly explained as the white man's book. So, I'll say Salakia to y'all because I'm going to absolutely destroy some of these names. I'm not saying Salakia because I destroy the name. I'm saying Salakia to y'all because I want y'all to understand the name. Go research everything I'm about to tell you. Go research it for yourself. and you'll see that the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana has a warrior, man. We don't play, man. We're not playing with y'all. We're here to teach y'all the truth. And in order for us to teach you the truth, many of us had to have come from the lie. You know what I'm saying? So do your own research. Officer Sarnaquash has studied this for over 20 years, man. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to state facts that you could go look up. Not always Google. Get a book and read it. You know what I'm saying? Google's a great, thing to remind you of the knowledge that you may already have. But if you don't understand this knowledge, get a book. I'm going to take my time with this because I'm going to give you some tools to destroy Hotep, to destroy them, to say that we got the white man's book. We got the slave master's religion. And I want you to remember one thing I'm about to tell you. The fake Jew, the so-called Jew, and the Nazis are directly responsible for the religion and the ways of Egypt. Period. They thought that those were white people. Their first excuse about the darkness of the wall was time. They figured that the paint got dark, and these are real excuses that these people said, man. But the Hoteps of today, I don't have to say them by name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Those Hoteps are crazy. Some of them will put a side lock in their head. Others will put eyeliner on and get a long nail and do all of this crazy stuff because they say it comes from the walls of Egypt, the writings of Egypt, from Anu, all of the, they may not say Anubis. The Hoteps will say something different because they understand that they're following the white man's way. So they have later gone and tried to change it, but it's the same story, same people. Just because somebody say Ur or whatever the hell and Osiris, you know what I'm saying, Horus and Har, and they correct you. It's not Horus, that's Greek. So simple and so silly. And I pray y'all understand that I am absolutely grateful that the Most High saw me worthy enough to get the hell out of that gay religion and to come into the truth of the Bible. And that's the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. I want to read something and start with, of course, the man accredited for breaking down or deciphering the Metu Neter, Jean-Francois Champollion. So he's the one that is accredited with deciphering. Let me read a little something. And I'll give you a source of Wikipedia because I just want the basics of him. It'll be a whole other, I need a lecture to break this all down. So I'm going to just do the basics and I'm going to read this for y'all. Also known as Champollion Li Juin, whatever, the Younger. He was born in December 1790. He was a French scholar. Okay. Now, he was known primarily as the decipherer of Egyptian hieroglyphs and a founding figure in the field of Egyptology. He was a child progeny in philology, and he gave his first public paper on the decipherment of demotic Salakia in 1806, and already as a young man held many posts of honor in scientific circles and spoke, this is important, and spoke Coptic and Arabic fluently. So this is a French man. This is a white man. For anybody that is watching this, all you have to go is just put in CHAMPOLLION. Google that, and the picture will come up. It's a very significant part of the picture that I want you to realize. And that is the hand in the shirt. That is a theme with all Masonic figures, especially the powerful ones. George Washington and all of them clowns all had that. It's a representation of hiding the knowledge, hiding the truth. So this man deciphered the Metu Neter, or Salakia, deciphered the hieroglyphs, later coming up with the language of the Metu Neter. So this is a white man. All of the hoteps and all of the crazies that always got something crazy to say about the Bible, and the Bible being a white man's book, your daddy was a white man. The reason why you build altars in your house, the reason why you say, Amen Ra and all of these different terms is because of a white man. That is why y'all say that. It has nothing to do with you understanding and believing what that wall says. I'm going to make a bold statement. You can't prove that the Metu Neter or the hieroglyphs of Egypt have ever been deciphered. No one can prove that. I've studied it too long. It is a fact. So what Champollion did, like I say, I'm a badger their names and I don't give a damn. But what he did was he took the studies of another man, which we'll get to in a second. He researched it and decided to pick his studies up of a stone that had hieroglyphs. It had a Greek, and it had another language. I'll get the language in a minute. Salakia. I forget the name of it. So it had 3 languages on it. So his research in his attic, he came up with an alphabet for the hieroglyphs. He's the one. He's the reason why these niggas will say on the pyramid text, there's a story that predates the Bible. They say that, because of what he said it says. Don't nobody know what no goddamn bird and no beetle together mean. With no noose. What does that mean? But because a Jew, a fake Jew, who are historically great at making up languages, all you have to do is just listen to Yiddish, which is German and basically Arabic. That's basically what it is, man. They already created a language right before your very eyes. And their progenitors of this whole language game did the same thing. And now you hoteps are believing that Egypt, the ways of Egypt predate the Bible. All of the stories of the Bible come from Egypt. So let's get back into it. So, Lakiak, I'm gonna need you because we got some. I'm gonna call some names out, and we're gonna break this down, right? We're gonna break this down, and we're gonna be done with this this garbage of these clowns thinking that this Metu Neter, which makes no sense in itself, is a work of the Egyptians, because we know what the Lord did to the Egyptians. That's why you have no real descendancies of Egypt. If you go over there now, those are not Egyptians. They're a mixture of Arabs. They're a mixture of Ethiopians, Eritreans. The doggone tribes say that they are the descendants of the Egyptians. And we know that these Hoteps don't care nothing about the doggone tribe. They ain't putting no big old plate in their lip. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting marks all over their body and doing all of these things because they want what they see as glory of the Egyptians, because the white man says it was glory. So real quick, because I don't want to, jump around too much. I'm going to continue reading a little bit about Champollion. During the early 19th century, French culture experienced a period of what they call Egyptomania. They was crazy about Egypt because, don't forget, their king Napoleon first saw this. These are Masons. This is the early Masonhood, man. You see what I'm saying? And this is the early part of Masonry, which I will not get in now. I just want to break down this decipherment real quick. Y'all bear with me. It says, brought on by Napoleon's discoveries in Egypt during his campaign there of 1796 to 1801, which also brought to light the trilingual Rosetta Stone. Like I said, there was 3 languages on the Rosetta Stone. It was a trilingual stone. Scholars debated the age of the Egyptian civilization and the functions and nature of the hieroglyphic script, which language, if any, it recorded, and the degree to which the signs were phonetic. Like, listen, man, this is so simple to me. We do not have the Egyptians here. So how the hell are you going to tell me how that sounded? If it is a language, what the hell did that bird mean? What noise was it? What was a beetle noise? What was the rope and the beetle together? What was the phonetics? How did it sound? We don't have that. You understand what I'm saying? But the white man said he figured it out. So as I go through this, I'm going to continue asking y'all, who has the white man's book, man? Who has the white man's knowledge? Who has the slave master's religion, man? This right here is right before your eyes. All you have to do is study it. I'm going to say something else real quick. Side note. In his attic, he came up with the alphabet of Egypt. Not going over there finding a book and finding this. No. Through his genius, because he's so smart, he was able to figure out an alphabet. And through that alphabet, created a language of the Metu Neter. The white man's his religion and his language. Y'all bear with me. His religion and his language. Why do you call it the white man's religion? Don't forget, the Metu Neter told you how the Egyptians prayed, what they ate, how they lived. It taught you the society of Egypt. You understand that? Real Israelites understand that we don't need the Metu Neter to teach us that they had liquor stores. It's right there in the ruins. where all the so-called apartments and people live backed in together and crunched in together, there's these hubs with barrels of what everybody know, beer and their lotus plant shit that they had was in there because you can see it on the wall. I don't need a bird and no goddamn dog and no man with a falcon head. I don't need to figure out what that means. The earth, man. The earth showed you what it means. So this man, Napoleon, or, is the father of the Metu Neter language. Period, point blank. You could tell them hoteps to please tell me one of their so-called leaders or so-called whatever that came and deciphered this so-called before him. Give me one. Give me one. Dr. Ben and all of that was going, as a matter of fact, Dr. Ben quoted these white men, used them as references. But we're not done. We're not done. We're going to get to Ehrman. We're going to get to all of these brothers. You know what I'm saying? And the so-called brothers that did all of this. But we're going to get to these devils first. So let me get back here and let me, Salakia, y'all bear with me because I got to make sure y'all have the proper content and the proper, study material. So Napoleon had a brother. His name was Jacques Joseph. That was his brother. And if you look at his pictures, he also has the Masonic hand in the shirt sign. He's the one that was really doing some Egyptian work as well. Because what y'all don't understand, which we'll get into the University of Berlin. I want y'all to look up the founders of the University of Berlin. Anybody out here watching the show and you come up with the Humboldt brothers, stick with that because it's so important. Akwaf is so important. So his brother, who is a known Mason, okay? He was his brother and faithful supporter of the scientific endeavors of Jean-Francois Napoleon, his brother. He supported him, but his brother was a known Mason, okay? Very important, okay? Now, Napoleon started out, okay, I'm going to read this. Given the difficulty of the task of educating his brother while earning a living, Jacques, the older brother, decided to send his younger brother to the well-guarded school of the Abbey Desert in November 1802. Look this school up. ABBE, but the point you need is DUSSERT in November of 1802, where Napoleon would stay until the summer of 1804. During this period, his gift for languages first became evident. He started out learning Latin, do not forget that, and Greek, but quickly progressed to Hebrew and other Semitic languages such as Ethiopic, Arabic, Syriac, and Chaldean. It was while a student here that he took up the interest in ancient Egypt, likely encouraged in this direction by Dusert and his brother, both Orientalist, the studies of the Orient. See, listen, I hope I ain't losing y'all, but this is very important. The white man has never created anything. That's what he is. He's a culture vulture. He comes in, he learns the ways of a people, and then he writes his story about it. That's why saying someone is Oriental is actually a derogatory term. Just like calling someone a Carib or Caribbean is derogatory. They come in, they learn the language, they learn the ways, and then they write a book. You see what I'm saying? And then that book becomes law. It becomes the story of what happened. Because the white man is the devil the Bible speak of, man. He's a deceiver. So this man, studying all of these languages, now has the credentials to decipher any language. You guys get the understanding of that's why they bigged him up by all these other languages. Because I'm about to show you, it's impossible for him to have broken down the metadata. On your own time, get into more of his story. You'll read about his family life, okay? Because when we get to the breaking down, the deciphering of Egyptian hieroglyphs, okay? Let's read this. The Egyptian hieroglyphs had been well known to scholars of the ancient world for centuries. You understand that? But few had made any attempts to understand them. Many based their speculations about the script in the writings of, write this down, Horapollon, Hieropollon, who considered the symbols to be ideographic. You understand? Ideographic, just idea, just it means nothing. Not representing any specific spoken language. Now, Athanasius Kircher, Athanasius Kircher, Kircher, for example, had stated that the hieroglyphs were symbols that cannot be translated by words, but expressed only by marks, characters, and figures, meaning that the script was in essence impossible to ever decipher. That was what the scholars for centuries said, because they understood one thing. We don't know what the hell that means. We know that English is a bastard language, but there's a lot of German in it. It's basically, you could say there's a lot of Germanic language in it. We know that Spanish, all of that comes from Latin, Spanish, Greek, Italian, Portuguese. Those are Latin languages. So we understand that you can break those languages down because they have a mother language. What's the mother language of the hieroglyphs? What is it? There isn't one. But why would he want to break down the metadata so bad? Because what y'all don't understand is Napoleon found brotherhood, secret society, white brotherhood. He knew that he could form a brotherhood that he thought, of course, you get later in the story, they turned on him, but he felt that he found a brotherhood that could never be stopped. A white supremacist brotherhood that can never be stopped. Napoleon was before Hitler, man. And that's what y'all don't understand. You better study Napoleon, and you better study what happened after he conquered Egypt. So I don't want to get off topic, because I understand this. And I've always said that I would absolutely need to do this in an election with screens and all of that. I would absolutely have to do that. And Lord willing, maybe I will. But another name, I want y'all to understand, Thomas Young. Write that down. Let's get into it. Let's get busy, man. Let's do our thing. I'm going to give y'all a second because I need y'all to understand who Thomas Young is. And if you will, trooper, if you will, man, hook me up, man, because I'm about to get in. The opening that I just did, I'm telling y'all, if y'all write it down, you go look at it and you study it, it's powerful. It's powerful. Read about Napoleon and his brother, and you'll find a lot. And you can just go to Wikipedia. That'll give you the basis. But there's blue letters in Wikipedia that you keep clicking. It's going to take you to everything you need. Okay. So, Thomas Young. Now, British polymath Thomas Young was one of the first to attempt decipherment of the Egyptian hieroglyphs, basing his own work on the investigations of Swedish diplomat Johann David Åkerblad. I'm getting into my fake Jews here, man. I'm getting into the white supremacist plot. Have y'all read the Talmud? Have y'all read what the Zionists believe? Have y'all ever took the time out to learn what our enemies really think of us, man? They think of us as dogs. They think that they always have to think of a way to keep us down, man. It's not a coincidence that a black man who can shoot a ball from 30 feet away or dunk it, fly all through the air, what the hell does he need a white Jewish man for his agent for? Why? LeBron, this is new with LeBron and the brother. That's new. Throughout the history of sports, the Jewish man has been in every aspect of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian talent. Do y'all understand that? Boxing, singing, dancing, you name it. They own all the teams. They own all the agencies. They own all the promotions. They own all the record companies and the distribution. They own all of the TV channels. They own all of that. They own it all. And it's not by coincidence. It's because their progenitors came up with a way, a religion. Egyptology is not just the study of Egypt. It is a religion. Do you think there's an obelisk in Washington, D.C. for nothing? Do you think that there's pyramids all over the goddamn place? Not only ancient ones, I'm talking about the new governments, putting Sphinx here, showing all of these Egyptian things within their government. Why? Because it is a religion. It is a way to keep every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian down, man. And let's talk about it. But first, let's get into Thomas Young. I want to finish Thomas Young real quick. Young and Napoleon first became aware of each other's work in 1814, when Napoleon wrote to the Royal Society, of which Young was the secretary, requesting better transcripts of the Rosetta Stone. To Young's irritation, arrogantly implying that he would be able to quickly decipher the script if he only had the Rosetta Stone text. Okay. Context. Why do they want to decipher this so bad? Why? What's the significance of saying what the Egyptians meant? Listen, this is 1814. Don't y'all know that the Romans already been in Egypt? Don't you know that Mark Hamilton and Julius Caesar the Greeks already ran Egypt. Everybody look up Alexander the Greek. He didn't go into Egypt and kill everybody. It was a bloodless, you call coup. And he did not call himself Alexander the Greek. I'll be lying to y'all if I told you his name. I know he took on the role of Amun-Ra. He was a pharaoh. He was the first white pharaoh of Egypt. Alexander the Greek. Look it up, y'all, because this is very important. So you don't think that the Greeks knew what the Egyptians meant when they talked? You don't think that they had this relationship together, that they understood what the Egyptians were saying? They conquered them. The white man knows the Native American language. Am I correct? The white man go all up into Africa and talk to them today. You trying to tell me that the Greeks didn't know how the Egyptians talked? Cleopatra spoke Egyptian. So the point I'm trying to make, why are they trying to decipher something that's already been known? Why? Is there no record from Ptolemy? Didn't Ptolemy leave a record? But what was that record that he left? Why are they not talking about what Ptolemy knew? What all of the white pharaohs that came under Alexander the Greek knew? Why is there no record of that? Why no one talks about that? You know why? Because you would be able to understand that the Israelites was in Egypt. You'd be able to understand that the Israelites are black. You would be able to understand that it's real what happened with the Bible. Unless what happens? If someone else now comes in through their satanic way, their evil, wicked way, and try to turn the Bible into the fable and Egyptology, Egypt, unto the real. Because it's very important that y'all study. I'm not going to get into this. I'm going to stick with the language today and the creation of Egyptology and the language. But don't y'all find it crazy that Alexander the Greek has a bust in Egypt as a pharaoh, not as a Greek. He conquered them, and the Egyptians accepted him. You know how I know it? He was Amun. He was a god. So if he's a god, that white man's a god, and you hoteppers love to show us the black this, and we created this, and we did all of that. What happened? Why would those black warriors that you talk about all the time just accept this white man coming in saying, I'm Amun? Like I say, y'all, that's a whole nother class, and I'm really trying to stick to what I need to get into right now. So with Thomas Young, we're gonna get into, if you would look this name up for me, if you look this name up for me, Karl, Carl Richard Lipsius. Lepsius. Try to go to the Wikipedia and let's start there with this devil. I might be out of order. I might be out of the way I wanted to do it, but let's get into it.
What do you want me to start?
Let's start at the top, the biography.
Carl Richard Lepsius, the son of Carl Peter Lepsius, a classical scholar from Naumburg, and his wife, Frederica, who was the daughter of composer Karl Ludwig Glaser. The family name was originally Leps and had been Latinized to Lepsius.
Hold on. Latinized. See, what y'all don't understand is there's many languages in the history of this earth. See, we think we're such an arrogant people. We act like English, Spanish, Russian, German, and this shit we know today are ancient languages. They're not. They're not. Latin and Greek come way before that. That's why he said Latinized. Keep reading.
By Carl's paternal great-grandfather, Peter Christoph Lepsius. He was born in Nuremberg, Saxony.
Okay. That's a history of him being raised up early life. That's him in a nutshell. But go down to his work. Now let's get into what he did and what he was. Because don't forget, we started out with Champollion, right? And I want y'all to bear with me, man. I pray y'all understand what I'm about to break down. Now continue reading with his work.
After the death of Champollion, Lepsius made a systematic study of the French scholars Grimaldi,
Egyptology. Okay, so listen. He started studying systematically. After Champollion died, he picked his work up. This is his protege. You understand me? So when we talk about the Bible and the way, they say the white man's book and Christ was born on what they say. Christ was born in December 25th, and so was Horus. That's what they say. Real quick, side note. Real quick. They say Christ was born December 25th, and so was Horus. And I'm going to use Horus because those are the terms that y'all can go look at. Osiris and Isis' son. Horus, the story of Christ, born by a virgin. So Isis was a virgin. And Osiris was the god that impregnated her. And he was born on December 25th. That's what they say, But December got its name from the Latin word decem, meaning 10. Okay? Because it was originally the 10th month of the year in the calendar of Romulus. 750 BC, which began in March. The story of Horus is supposed to be 7,000 years old, if you could even put a date to it. How the hell was he born in December, man? His birth predates 750 BC, unless they're trying to tell me Romulus, one of the brothers that created Rome, is before Horus? My point is this, man. It's so ridiculous, but they say that. They say that the birth of Christ you can find in Egypt because of December 25th, which we know as Israelites, that's not even true. But what I'm telling you is that works with our unlearned people, man. So Salakia, go ahead and continue reading.
Which had been published in 1836, but it yet to be widely accepted.
Now, the important part was nobody believed in Champollion's work. All of the scholars at that time was telling him, man, you creating something, man. That ain't what that say. It's not what that say. We've studied it, we've looked at it, and they all said, what's this other language on there? So he started studying. I got to think, Salakia, y'all, there's another language on there. Y'all could put the 3 languages on the Rosetta Stone. Google it. It'll tell you the 3rd language because Champollion studied that language. He knew that language. He knew the Greek and he knew that language. But if you look at the word Ptolemy in Latin, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, because they tried to decipher it in Latin, and we're going to break that down. There's, I think, 10 or 11 symbols, but there's only 8 Egyptian ones. So then they later came with the Greek Ptolemy, and that's only has 8. They're so evil and wicked that they tried to correct themselves, because what people don't realize it, they Latinized it first. But we'll get into that in a minute. Continue reading.
In that year, Lepsius traveled to Tuscany to meet with Ippolito Rossellini.
Go ahead.
Who had led a joint expedition into Egypt with Champollion in 1828, 1829.
Okay. Continue reading. Listen, y'all. There's a lot of reading in this class because I feel that I need you to know everything, because when it comes to when I do something, it's not just for your goddamn entertainment, man. It's for your knowledge. All it is. The brother just said something heavy. Travel to Tuscany to meet with Ippolito Rossellini. These are all Masons. We know how Masons are. They don't just do nothing for nothing. Do y'all remember the movie Indiana Jones? Remember when Indiana Jones went all to trying to find all these different artifacts? I think he was trying to find the Ark of the Covenant, the one I'm talking about. And who was there fighting them? You remember it was the Germans? Do you remember it was the white supremacists that was already there? Trying to form something, trying to develop something. Don't forget that the Jewish man and the Nazis were like this. They were homies. They were brothers. That's why so many so-called Jews were in their government, held cabinet positions. They were brothers. Until people don't realize that the war between the Nazis and the so-called Jews, that was a civil war. The Germans the Nazis just had the power of the government when Hitler got in. But neither here or there. Don't forget that these are Masons, man. And we can get deeper into it. But these are Masons and so-called Jews working together to form something. Go ahead.
In a series of letters to Rossellini, Lepsius expanded on Champollion's explanation of the use of alphabetic signs in hieroglyphic writing.
Hold on. So what he did is he said, and this isn't directly, but we'll get into the cracker that wrote the dictionary. See, y'all don't even understand this. Y'all let these Hotep niggas just come on shows and do all of this bullshit and got gay ass fucking unks and all this garbage. Say they wife speak metanetter. Your wife, go ahead.
Salakia, so with the eye makeup on.
Yes. Not understanding what it means. Go ahead. I want you to get down to what you at right now? Okay. You had the use of the alphabetic signs and hieroglyphic writing, emphasizing Champollion that vowels were not written. So you're going to tell me that the Egyptians had vowels? And their vowels were like, it was like Latin vowels. It was a Latin language. It was, listen, this is the arrogance of these people. Why you idiots is walking around here shaving your head and leaving a goddamn piece of it. And then when this don't grow, your dumb ass get hair braided into it. Nigga, you got extensions. Not only is it a side lock, but you got extensions. And in the walls of Egypt, nobody but kids had a side lock. You don't see no grown ass man on the walls of Egypt with no side lock, man. But we got the white man's religion. We got the white man's way. The white man created Egypt for you. Because the last thing that white man wants you to know is that you are the true Israelites the Bible speak of. And we'll get into that a little later. Salakia, start on that 1842 Baba Kushah.
1842.
Go ahead.
Lepsius was commissioned at the recommendation of the Minister of Instruction.
Hold on. This is very, very important. And I want y'all to write down this name. Don't forget, I told you to look up the founders of the Berlin University. And the Berlin University, which you dum-dums don't even know, that's the Vatican of Egyptology. It's where they learn everything they learn at. We learned this when I used to be in that BS. I knew this when I used to follow that Egyptology crap. But we knew that the white man created it, and that these niggas walking around here doing what they do is absolutely ridiculous. But go ahead.
Johann Elkhorn.
Remember Johann Elkhorn, but remember the scientist. Go ahead.
And the scientist Alexander von Humboldt and Christian Charles Josias Brunson.
By who?
Christian Charles Josias Brunson.
Go ahead. By who?
By King Frederick Wilhelm IV of Prussia.
The king commissioned this man to go into Egypt and to find out the Egyptian knowledge, right? The king of, does anybody know what Prussia is? Go ahead.
Slovakia is Germany.
It's Germany. It's where the Aryans and all of that, when they was in Rome, had power in the government. They was Prussian. Do your research. Prussia had so-called Jew kings. Man, y'all better study this history of how long these people conspired to make sure your black ass is shooting out of cars, selling dope, your daughter twerking, your woman being a whore, your young boy a little punk, transgender, don't know what the hell he is, getting mad if you call him a boy. Get an attitude. What they call it? Don't gender assume. You know, that's what it's about, Akwaf. When these niggas is hotepping y'all, they are the ones with the white man's religion. They are the one with the white man's language. You are on the right road with Hebrew, knowing you're an Israelite. This is kings, man, commissioning scientists and people who think they know what the meta-netta is. And why? This is big, man. Because Egyptology, Zionism runs this earth. Runs this earth. I challenge any one of y'all to look at the wealth of the Russian Jews and look who their protector is. None other than Vladimir himself. Look at what Israel and the fake Jews are doing around the world. They're making sure you don't go to Israel. They're making sure, listen, you know why King David and our kings and our towns and traditions have not been found? Because we haven't looked for them. We're the only people on this earth that can find that. We have the Spirit. The Lord will guide us if he wanted us to find that. You understand that? Not the white man. They don't understand anything about our book because our book isn't for them. They are the masters of Egypt and Egyptology, man. The king of Prussia, it says, to lead an expedition to Egypt and the Sudan, where all of the hieroglyphs and all of these writings are, to explore and record the remains of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The Prussian expedition was modeled after the earlier Napoleonic mission with surveyors, draftsmen, and other specialists. The mission reached Giza in November of 1842 and spent 6 months, man, making some of the first scientific studies of the pyramids. Listen, man, these white people created your religion. They went in, they stole all of the artifacts. We're gonna get into the British Museum, Salakia. We're gonna get into the British Museum, and we're gonna get into the University of Berlin. Because y'all gotta understand something, man. The man just read, my brother just read that the king wanted Humboldt, a scientist. He listened to the recommendation. Let's read it again. Lepsius was commissioned at the recommendation of the Minister of Instruction, Johann Elkhorn, and the scientist Alexander von Humboldt. Right? Let's read about Alexander von Humboldt real quick, y'all. Alexander, you know how to spell. Vonhumboldt. Right? If I may. What I want to start with this one. I'm going to start up here. He was born in 1769. Was a German polymath, geographer, naturalist, explorer, and proponent of romantic philosophy and science. He was the young. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. Where does it say he was a linguist?
Huh?
Where does it say he was a linguist?
Hey, keep that up, man. Because you starting to do that prophecy, man. You know what I'm saying? You keep that up. It doesn't. Not to mention about any linguist who was a linguist, period. Champollion studied languages, Arabic, all of these different languages, but listen, they didn't even go to the surrounding areas where there were Africans there. They didn't go ask them their language. Coptic? It's Ethiopia, which has so much to do with Greek. As a matter of fact, I think Coptic is a Greek word. Come on, man. They're not. But what they are is they're Masons and they're powerful men, right? But let's continue. He was the younger brother of the Prussian minister, philosopher, and it says here, linguist Wilhelm von Humboldt, his brother. Humboldt's, quantitative, like I tell y'all, Salakia, work on botanical geography laid the foundation for the field of biogeography. Humboldt's advocacy of the long-term systematic geophysical measurement laid the foundation for modern geomagnetic and meteorological monitoring. So that's their expertise, right? Him and his brother. So early life education, travels, work in Europe. Y'all go ahead and read that up, because you see how they went to the Americas. So important. The Spanish Royal Authorization, 1799. Venezuela, 1799 to 1800. Cuba, 1800 to 1804. You understand me? The Andes, 1801 to 1803. These is Masons. New Spain, which is Mexico, 1803, 1804, right? So these are the men who said to the king, hey, commission him to go to and let him do this with the language and find out what this is, because we believe he can decipher it. And once he deciphers it, then we're going to know all about Egypt. What the hell does the king of Prussia care about Egypt for? They don't care about their ways. They're not going to adapt their ways. You understand me? United States, 1804. I'm going to continue. Put in, if you will, search for who founded the Berlin University, because I don't see this right here. I got it somewhere, y'all. Y'all bear with me, man. And also he wrote some work called Cosmos too, which is very, very deep if you read his writings on Cosmos. Hold on real quick. Did you come up with it? So go ahead. What does it say? What you got?
Humboldt University of Berlin is a public research university in the central borough of Mitte in Berlin, Germany. It was established by Frederick William III on the initiative of Wilhelm von Humboldt.
So heavy, man. Okay, so I want you to look up Salakia, Adolf, Adolf Ehrman. Look up Adolf Ehrman, and we're just gonna go Wikipedia. And I know y'all like, what this nigga talking about? This nigga all over it. Well, let me tell y'all something. For anybody that got any scholarship in them, you understand that these are the men that created the Metuneta. It started with Champollion. who had the Thomas Young and his works. Because don't forget, the Rosetta Stone had been found. It was been found. This is nothing new. He picked it up. You understand that? So with Ehrman, let's go down to his works. No, hold on. Let's go to, I'm gonna read it because I probably can find it real quick. Educated at Leipzig and Berlin, he became associate professor of Egyptology at the University of Berlin. I'm gonna tell y'all something. All of these cats went to the University of Berlin. Why? Do me a favor. Look up what's the one cat? WD boy. WB, what's his name?
Salakia, the boys.
Yeah. Look up what school he went to. Where is he from? Where's W.D. Du Bois from? Now we know he had that national, association or national advancement of colored people. But where did he go to school at? Huh?
Salakia, University of Berlin.
He did what? What the hell is a man from the United States? Well, why would he go? And what year? What time is this? It's not today. There was no American base over there. There was no black neighborhood. Why is he going to the University of Berlin? Let's keep talking about it. Hey, y'all, I got a weird way of teaching, but just bear with me. The University of Berlin in 1883 and full professor in 1892. In 85, he was appointed director of the Egyptian department at the Royal Museum. In 1934, he was excluded from the faculty of the university because he was, according to Nazi ideology, 1/4 Jewish. He was a Jew. And this was the time where the Nazis and them started tripping. But if you notice, everything we're talking about is Germany. You understand that? And this school of this Berlin, this University of Berlin. We know it's the way.
And if I could, sir, Germany at this time isn't the Germany we think today. When they say Germany in those days, it's the Holy Roman Empire.
Yes, it is the Holy Roman Empire. And the beautiful thing of it is that brings us back to the Latin, which we'll get to in a minute. Because don't forget, the Frenchman, he didn't study the history of France. He didn't give a damn about France. France has a vast history of niggers. Don't forget, they thought that the Egyptians had to be white. That's what people don't understand. The white man is such a animal that he'll see black people on the wall and say, "Oh, those are original white people. They're white." That's what he did. So all of these Egyptologists, kings, princes, and we're gonna get more into it because I gotta get to them. Salakia, y'all. Like I said, I beat Egypt up so easy that You may not even get it, man. You may not even get it. But trust me, it's simple to beat this garbage up, man. Thomas Young was a checkmate. But let me see. I'm gonna find where's he at? Salakia. Ellipsis. So let's go now to hold on, I gotta get to these. I wish I could share my screen. Do a lecture on this. I'm gonna do because I got the pictures of that I got the pictures of these clowns, man, and man, because it's such a disgusting thing what they did, man. Hey, y'all bear with me 1 second. Let's go to Alan Gardner. Man, the white man is the devil the Bible speak of, man. Let's go to Alan Gardner. And if you want, you can put Sir Alan H. Gardner. AlanHGardiner. You got it?
Okay.
All right. Do this. Let me see. Let me get there with you, Salakia. Because I need you to read certain things. Okay. So I need y'all to get a book. It's called Egyptian Grammar by Alan H. Gardner. Okay. Was one of the premier Egyptologists of the early 20th century. He is probably best remembered for two of his books, Egypt of the Pharaohs and Egyptian Grammar, which is considered to be among the best works in the field of ancient hieroglyphs. Okay? So let's look at his story. Let's see what's up with this cracker. You got his information?
Okay.
All right, read a little bit for me. I can't find it on here, but no sweat.
In 1902, Gardner moved to Berlin to help gather material for Adolf Ehrman's project.
For who?
Adolf Ehrman's projected Egyptian dictionary.
Now, don't forget, we've already talked about Ehrman and his University of Berlin ties. He was a professor.
Serving as sub-editor.
Go ahead.
From 1906 to 1908.
Right.
From 1909, he spent 2 seasons assisting Arthur Weigel in surveying the private tombs in the Thebes area.
Man.
Returning to England from 1912 to 1914, he was reader in Egyptology at Manchester University.
Okay, so now listen. Somebody, I gotta ask y'all, when it comes to the hieroglyphs and the Metuneta, where was you niggas at? These are white men. These are white men breaking your language down, correct? Forming it, writing dictionaries, getting the alphabet right, arguing amongst these, each other about what the language means, going to the pyramid text and looking at it. Oh, that means that. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Oh, okay. love your neighbor, and as you love your, oh, okay. Wait a minute. Don't, oh, turn the other cheek. Come, man, are you serious? This is what y'all believe. You believe the Book of the Dead. They deciphered that. A white man deciphered the Book of the Dead. Not Dr. Ben. A white man, man. Because y'all have the white man's book, you have his language, you have his ways. And Salakia, let's get into some scripture, man. Salakia, by the way. Give me Salakia, y'all. But this is so like I knew I should have asked for permission to do a straight a straight breakdown, man. I need slides. I need to really show you these devils, man. Give me don't follow the heathen. Because it's so ridiculous that we sitting up here knowing the truth, knowing what we supposed to do as Israelites, but following Egypt. When Egypt has nothing to do with you. It's like it's part of your history, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, but the Lord destroyed them. That's why you go into Egypt and guess what these white men was finding? Wigs, fro wigs, braid wigs. Because we understand they wanted to look like the Israelites. You show me a goddamn African right now in that region with a fro, with braids, man. The Egyptians didn't depict themselves with fros and braids. But the Amun priests put that fro on. Now y'all asking me, what does that mean? You know what that means? We controlled their society. In captivity, we was the cream. In captivity, I don't need no goddamn wall to tell me that. That's why you got forks. You got Afro picks. They find them right there in Egypt. But they was bald-headed. They don't show you no damn Egyptians with no afros, man. Nubian braids, Nubian knots, and all of this stuff we want to give to Africans. You see Africans in the real world today. Show me them with the fros and the Nubian knots. Their hair get that big. You understand me? They roll their hair with rice, maybe. That's us, man. Those artifacts that those white boys was finding was proving that the black man, Hispanic man, and Native man that they had in captivity, don't forget what these years is, was the real Israelites. But them being satanic, they never wanted to expose it. They wanted to keep you down, black man. And they want you to think that your book, which is inspired by the Most High. You got that? You got that description? Go ahead and read that first.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2.
Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
If you learning the Metuneta, you're learning the way of the heathen, man. It's a heathen way. Even if you do believe the Egyptians broke it down or whatever, they heathens. But we know the white man broke that language down and created a language for you. We understand that the white man created Yiddish. It's right before your very eyes what they've created. They keep doing it. You think that the metaneta is our language. That's what y'all say. You say it. You tell us Hebrew, you should learn the metaneta. That's what you tell us. So we should learn the white man's language. Because the white man has the history. I want y'all to show me where your Johnny come lately black scholars can go before the names I'm naming and show me where a black or an African or whatever has literal work, literature, something that I can go back and read and be like, oh, damn. Mababuwe did try to decipher this in 16. You can't. You can't. And remember what I said earlier. The Greeks already knew it. So do you think that these white people who know Greek and have been in this elite society, have been in this this romance with Egypt for all this time, they don't know what the Egyptians were saying? Man, wake up, man, and understand that white man knows who you are and never wants you to know that. There's no coincidence that when Egypt and Napoleon went over there and got to talking to all of these people, don't forget that was a wartime. Rome was a mixed society. It was America. That's what Rome was. Julius Caesar went over there, and it was a mixed society. Romans had blacks. They had black Hispanics, native. They had all our people over there, man. You understand that? They knew what the Egyptians were saying. The Egyptians knew that the Romans was invaders. The Egyptians knew, but through the Greeks. And listen, what's so crazy to me? The Greeks named it Egypt. Damn. That's what they called it, which means land of bondage. Why would they call it that? Was Greeks in bondage there? No. The Egyptians didn't even write that the Greeks had them in bondage. There was no bondage. They accepted them. But the Greeks knew through the stories of those Egyptians, y'all had the Israelites in bondage. Why did they take? Listen, man, there's a pharaoh named Ai. That probably wasn't his name, of course. But the white man says his name was Ai. Look him up. Look him up. He was right there with King Tut. Like I say, I can get into these stories, man. They beat him up. They tried to hide his tomb and did all of these things to erase him from history. What does that writing say? What does the writing of Ai say? What's his history timeline like? You don't know. And the reason why you don't know is you don't understand that the metaneta that you know of today is garbage, man. That's why it coincides with the Bible. Because they want the Bible to be belittled, to seem like it plagiarized Egypt. When we of men that study, we know that it has nothing to do with Egypt. Let's get back, Salakia, if I may. I'm not letting them get away. I'm not letting them get away with Alan Gardner. I'm not letting them get away with that. Salaki, I thought I had it. I had it ready too. Bear with me. I'm almost there. Okay, as I'm looking for this Alan Gardner, I want you to look up Champollion again, but his no, it's Alan Gardner's Salakia. Alan Gardner's alphabet. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Egyptian. Let me see if I can get the alphabet. See if I can get the alphabet. Yeah, I'm so. It's so much. It's so much, man. That it's pitiful, man. Okay, so let me see. Egyptian origin of the Semitic. Okay. So this is Gardner's sign list. If you start looking at his sign list, okay, he got A1, A2, A3, and he goes through all of these different signs, okay? If you get to the sign list, you'll have the metanetter like broken down. Rope, fiber, basket, bags. He's telling you what that means. Loaves and cakes. So he's telling you not because he saw it on a stone and say, oh, that might mean that because it mean that in Greek. That's what everybody thought. No. He's telling you what all of these mean. Double A1. Man, it's so much garbage the way that they broke this language down that if y'all just take 10 minutes of studying, you'll see that these niggas walking around with that Egyptian shit is crazy, man. Because the white man made a whole different language. And let me tell you something else. Since I can't find it, I'm going to just say it. They used Latin. They used Latin. That's the biggest mistake they made. There's Greek, hieroglyphs, and that other language on there, Salakia, y'all. But just look at the three languages on there, you'll see it. There was no Latin on the Rosetta Stone. If you look, like I told you, look at Ptolemy. Very important because Ptolemy was there. Ptolemy. But guess what they say? It's not Ptolemy because the P is silent. That's what. Hold up, man. So under the Greek, it's Ptolemy. 8 symbols, right? The hieroglyphs, there's 8 symbols for Ptolemy, but the P is silent. So that would make 7 symbols, you would think, because the P is silent. Who can confirm the Egyptians said the P is silent? Am I making sense to anybody? That's Greek, which is a Latin language. So they're trying to tell you that that hieroglyph says Ptolemy with 8 symbols. But Ptolemy, the P silent. So it's Ptolemy. They're even taking Latin all the way to English concepts of language and saying that the Egyptians had that. So that hieroglyph means nothing. It means a P. How does that? Maybe I'm crazy, but if you say that this says Ptolemy, y'all look it up, and I look at Ptolemy and see how you spell it, and then you tell me, oh, it's not really Ptolemy, it's Ptolemy. Like if you look at the Egyptian god called Ptah, they'll say, oh no, it's not Ptah, it's Ta. Oh, so that silent, that P silent, right? Let's look it up real quick. Salakia, man. If I may, I understand it's difficult, man, but my point is this. My point is this. If they've never deciphered the metaneta, then how in the hell are they getting our Bible comes from it? Now, Ptah is a vulture, a arm, a leg, and folded cloth. Right? It's spelled P-T-A-H in Greek. 4 symbols. Correct? But the P silent. So does that mean that the vulture is silent? Let's look up Ptolemy. Let's look up Ptolemy. Don't forget the vulture is silent. Man, y'all, man, bear with me, y'all. Because you might do some research your own and see what the hell I'm talking about. There you go. So, oh, there you go right there. I wish I could, man. See, that's why I say I gotta do a real slide, man, to show y'all this bullshit. That's not a vulture, but that's the P. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there, right? So they got the Cleopatra. That's supposed to be Cleopatra, right? Cleo, that's the P, right? You see that? You see how they trying to bring stuff together, right? Hold on. Then I can bring y'all back to this if I had the slide. But trust me when I say this right here, it says that Ta is a vulture. Where's that? I know people like what this nigga talking about. I'm telling y'all, the white man is an animal and the devil the Bible speak of, man. But I can't get off of what I'm saying right now, though. Hold on. Y'all bear with me real quick. Because they won't show it. I need the whole writing. I need the whole writing. Okay. So you could go through Horus's name. I don't need Horus's name because this is all so like that's Ptolemies and Ptolemies. The Ptolemies. Okay. So if the brother here seen it, you seen it. Am I correct, God? Now I gotta show you something right now. Hold on, Salaki. I'm gonna show you something right now. Let's go. I already forgot how to spell it. Ptolemy in Latin. Hold on, Salaki. Hold on, let me see. Ptolemy off Latin, court of Latin. That's Ptolemy right there. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get these slides together. I have a lot of the pictures, but I ended up closing some of them, man. Anyway, Salakia, y'all. Real talk. What I want y'all to do is don't forget to just look up what the hell I said. You know what I'm saying? I can't share the screen like I want to share it now. I'm gonna try to learn how to do it, and I'm gonna do a slideshow to show y'all. I'm telling you. when you see the metaneter from the Greek, and then you see it Latinized, because don't forget one thing. That silent murders them. I'm telling you, that P being silent and ta, and sometimes it's a vulture, other time it's a folded cloth, and all of these different things that they say it is, all come from these white men we just talked about, who all went to that University of Berlin and learned the proper way that they wanted it broken down. It's the Mecca of Egyptology. So the point of this breakdown is this. Stop letting them tell you that the Bible comes from the writings of Egypt, when we know the writing of Egypt come from the white man, comes from a man that was trying to find the land of the Bible. There's no coincidence that when they say the Bible had a flood story, but so did Egypt. Listen, so did Sumeria. So did India. If anything, that just confirms that there was a flood on the earth. If every culture has it. Does that make sense? But I really, really know, after doing this class right here tonight, I know I got to do a slideshow, because me talking and rambling is not going to show y'all. I'm going to show you the pictures of these devils. I got to show you the picture of the hieroglyphs. I have to show you the pictures of the Prussian king, man, and show you how they look. And I was telling y'all to write the names down so you can go look for yourself. No, man, I'm gonna have to put a slideshow together. I'm gonna ask, of course, we go by permission, man. I'm gonna ask for permission to do a breakdown on Egypt and the metaneter, because all of these niggas on all these different YouTube channels and talking all this BS, they crazy if they think they know what the hell it says on the walls of Egypt. And then look, the one nigga, of course I won't say his name, he said he went there when he seen the hieroglyphs and he started crying, because he understood, and his wife started reading it. Man, you done tricked your wife to reading this white man language, thinking that you really doing something when you not, man. You got anything you want to say? The goal of this class, like I said, man, is Egyptology, and the language is the white man's creation. The names that I used, if y'all didn't write them down, watch this again. I'm telling you. Go on your own research and start studying and seeing just how foul these men were with the language of the metaneter. And then ask your Egyptian Hotep, who really got the white man book? Who really has the white man's language? Because we understand, we got our people right now on this earth that speak the Lashawan Kodash. It's still here. We got it. Y'all created it, and it's documented, because you have no clue what the Egyptians even sounded like. You have no clue. What do they sound like? It is impossible for you to break that language down. Real quick. In order for this metaneter or hieroglyphs to have been deciphered, one would have to ask the Egyptians who drew the symbols what they meant of them. How do you decipher it? off of a language that's not yours. No one can put a phonetic alphabetical value to a symbol. You can't say that means that that vulture is silent. That folded cloth is it don't make no sense. You cannot apply a language or languages to symbols that one does not know the meaning of. It is impossible. Okay? It is impossible to reduce the 400 or more symbols of the hieroglyphs to 26 letters of the alphabetical system. You can't do it. Our alphabet is an alphabet of sounds. A, E, I, O, U. I know I sound like one of my Ishkarite Brothers songs. You know, everything in the vowel and they. But what I'm saying is, you can't. 400 characters. You're gonna reduce to 26 letters of an alphabet. How do you do that? You can't. The pioneers in Egyptology, such as Bartholomew and Count Silvestre de Sacy and Champollion, arbitrarily assigned letters to symbols, and these were then accepted by Western academia. They said, you know what? That sounds right. So the Western, philosophers started to accept when it wasn't accepted at first. They shunned it, but after years, they accepted it. So now that's what it means. I'm going to quote Carol Andrews real quick. Writing for the British Museum on the Rosetta Stone, who wrote, "It is not possible, strictly speaking, to compile an alphabet of hieroglyphic signs for practical purposes. However, certain unilateral hieroglyphics have been selected to form a kind of an alphabet which is universally used for the organization of dictionaries, word lists, index, and for general referencing purposes." So, how the hell they got a dictionary? They have a dictionary, man. The same people who deciphered the hieroglyphs have now brought it to a dictionary. They're telling you the meaning of this now. And you're surprised that these stories sound biblical? Look who's doing it. The Egyptians buried themselves with gold. The Egyptian tombs have things for the afterlife. They obviously didn't believe in nothing close to being biblical. The Bible wants your heaven on earth. You don't have to kill your servant so she can die with you and wake up and serve you in some underground place if you die and you're not right. Because don't forget, y'all don't even understand Egypt. You got to go through the journey. That's why they had the steps going all the way down as deep as they could. Because those idiots thought they were going to come to the bottom of something where Osiris was to guide them through the afterlife. They had cups to drink out of for the afterlife. What's biblical about that? Just because you and your daddy made it biblical does not mean it's biblical. The pyramid text, you have no clue what that says. But if I come up with a system of letters, I can make that pyramid text say whatever I want it to say. Don't forget, they did it with Hebrew. That's why you have Achuketwak. What the hell is that? They've done it before. I'm going to get deeper into this motivation because I don't think that this class was a proper enough class. Hopefully, I got you to read and do a little studying, but I need to really have a slideshow and a PowerPoint on these points to show you what the hell I mean. 400 symbols into a 26-letter alphabet. You can't do it. The English language has, 20, that's it. You could put them together all you want to, but that's 26. Could you imagine it being a 300 and whatever it is, 74 more letters? And me try to make it sound like A through Z? You can't do it. It's garbage. The Egyptian way is garbage. We know they were gay because you have a man with his rod, with a statue. And next to it, another man. I don't need an alphabet to know that that's gay. And you also know fags created the story. That's why he nutted in his mouth and brought forth life. You understand? That doesn't sound like what white boys will do. That sounds like white boy playing their gay games. You know how they gay play. Are you serious? The meta-netta, you need to prove to me that y'all know what that says. Because I'm not convinced. Because I know the white men that did decipher it were Masons. They were Jews and Nazis that were like this at first, who had a world agenda to keep Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians down. Read their book. Read the Zionist writings. It's what they say. When they say population control, they're not talking about killing white people. When they're talking about hiding the truth like they do, who are they hiding it from? Who is it that they don't want to know who they really are? Why is it that as a Black man, I can say, you black bitch, but I can't say Jew money? Why? Who's really running it? The meta-netta that y'all love on in that world with these unks that you have no meaning, you have no clue what it really means. But your thing is what? What is it? Everlasting life? Live forever? Then you have, hold on, real quick. Then you have the 99, the whatever, confessions of Ma'at. The reasons why I say whatever, because it's lies. It's not real. I've never laid with a man. Why is that a confession? Why would that be read on a wall? Why? Read the confessions of Ma'at. And you tell me that out of 400 characters and out of 26 alphabetical letters and these 400 that we know of characters, what did you read? I never laid with a man before. Where'd that come from? What about ancient Egypt? When they found that corridor with that big plate Like they had a revolving roof. And they go down, and guess what? There's no hieroglyphs. It's all kind of different symbols. Totally different symbols. It's in Egypt. The people on the wall are still the same with their little poses, but these symbols are different. What does those mean? What is that crazy animal that they have? What the hell is that? You've been tricked into believing that everything comes from Egypt, and it doesn't, man. You have no clue what the hell those walls are saying, unless it's just, I know when there's a king with his foot on his enemy and an arrow pointing down at him, I can assume that they went to war and he don't like them. I don't need words to tell me that. I don't need no goddamn symbols. I know when a man is doing this with crops that he's farming, and the farming goes all the way to this fat god with titties named Happy, that I understand that that's probably the god of, nature and culture or whatever, the cult of, growing shit, Salakia. I know if the sun got hands coming down cut like that, you know what I'm saying, that the sun was very important to, I don't need letters. You understand what I'm saying? I understand they love the sun. Okay. But I never laid with a man. Thou shalt not kill. Really? Where does it say that? You say it says it. Thou. You even use thou. You don't say Salakia. You don't. I can see if you use some African sound that means thou, but you say thou shalt not kill. You say the 10 Commandments come from Egypt. Thou shalt not steal. That's Egyptian? Nah. It sounds Masonic to me. And it sounds like those white men that deciphered it never wanted you to respect your book that can never be taken from you. Even when a white man gives you a slave Bible and keep things up, things are revealed to us as a people. You understand that? And we know better. With that, I'm going to get this right. And I'm going to do this class with slideshows and all of that. But I wanted to start it getting into Egypt and busting it down because the metanetter, you cannot prove to me, has ever been deciphered and figured out. So how in the hell are you ever going to say the greatest book ever written and inspired? Give me that scripture, Salak, if you will. And I know that once I show you these slides and once I show you what I know and what I studied for so long, it'll blow your mind. Go ahead and read that when you got it.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by the inspiration of God.
All scripture is given by the inspiration of the Most High. Not no goddamn Egyptian. Not no crazy ass bone eating and disgusting cow piss. No, by the inspiration of the inspiration of the Most High. Do you understand that? That's where the Bible comes from. That's why no matter how many scriptures you take out, no matter what you try to add in, the scriptures actually say take nothing out or add nothing in. So we understand that that's wrong what you did. We understand you taking this book out and you adding this and you taking this scripture out. We understand that you're wrong. But you want me to believe that you deciphered a language? And that language you deciphered is perfect. The Hoteps tell you that the Bible's been tampered with. Has the Metanetta? Oh no, that's perfect. Everything that says is right. It's in its original form. It's on the wall. It's never been messed with. You're right. Because you don't know what the hell it's saying. You have no clue what the hell a bat means. A goddamn upright alligator. What that means? Man, I gotta get the hell out of here with that. I'm not saying this. I'm being funny. But a goddamn plant has the same O. Whenever you see that, that's O. So that the monkey is so that's soul. A goddamn monkey and a plant means soul. Man, come on, man. If this sit down right here means, do y'all really believe that, man? Do you really believe they know what this means? No. It's just another trick by the white man. And Lord willing, I pray y'all understand. I'm going to get to it. With that, I'm going to end this, man. Shalom Yahweh Hasham Yahweh Shabbarakatah. ISUPK Kentucky, man. We got a powerful podcast coming tomorrow. Cry aloud. Spare not. Tune in, man. It's 10 o'clock. What time is the podcast? I think it's 10. What I'll do is if it ain't 10, I'll post it, the time of it. Because I know classes, I think it's 10 to 12 or 10 to 11. But tune in to that, man. It's going to be a powerful show. We're doing it out here in Kentucky, man. Once again, Egyptology and its language is the white man's creation. Everything I said can be fact-checked. Get those names. Study the Berlin University and understand how many Egyptologists went there and how they formed this BS into a religion. With that, shalom.